Even if you don't camp, having a tailgate table on your Jeep JK, JL, or Ford Bronco is super convenient. It's great for cooking, making coffee, or just having a place to set something down. There are great options out there, but in this video, I want to share my experience with mine and how I'm installing it. I'll also be doing a couple of things slightly different than other install videos that you might have come across that I feel can make a difference over time. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Daniel, and today we're talking about tailgate tables. So my personal experience, though any table will be an upgrade, with the Outback Adventure Products Trailgater table, it's been extremely functional, ergonomic, easy to open, rattle-free, and looks great with the gray hammer tone or optional black color too. Each version is custom fit for that vehicle, and on the JL here, it replaces the inside tailgate cover. The table itself is formed from restaurant grade 304 stainless steel, supports up to 50 pounds, and the backsplash is powder coated 6061 T6 aluminum. And look at that, a no holes, easy to clean table surface and backsplash, so there's no worry about something falling through. The cutting board is a very strong bamboo that's easy to remove from the table for cleaning and disinfecting. I've even seen people laser engrave it for a personalized touch, which is pretty cool. With 20-inch wide working surfaces, every JL Trailgater comes with a 26 by 12 bamboo cutting board, which can slide to the left or the right, while the JK version has the option of a 26 by 11 bamboo or Santalite plastic cutting board. All these surfaces are FDA approved for contact with food. We all like an easy and satisfying mod to our vehicles, so I want to point out there's no drilling required for the Trailgater. It quickly mounts to the tailgate using 9 injection molded blind nuts, screws, and 2 bolts. As far as tools, all you need is a number 2 screwdriver, so we'll remove the tailgate panel, insert the blind nuts into the specified slots, apply the weather seal, and twist a few high quality stainless screws. One last thing, to me, I believe it's also a feature to support a family owned US business when we can. There's other US options that are very nice, great companies, but it's just cool to support original innovators like Doug and his wife. I'm almost done, but want to share something. Initially, I had this installed on the Rubicon, then after a trip in 21, I opted to move it over to my 19 Sahara that I also did a video on. When I had to sell the Sahara, there was no way I was giving up my Trailgater table, so now here we are, reinstalling the table again. And let me tell you, these proprietary green colored blind nuts are hard to get back out by design. So you're likely to tear up a few trying to get them out if you're swapping it to another JL or JK. I think I have a few quietly sliding around in this tailgater already, but that table's going back on. So I needed more of these blind nuts. But you know what? Every time I've offered to buy them, they've just sent me a full new set. So how's that for service? If they happen to come across my video here, I just want to say thanks for putting up with me. Let's get to the install. And again, there is the number 2 screwdriver, the supplied hardware. And after watching the video, you can decide whether you want to do what I'm doing. I'm using a low powered torque setting drill. You can see there. I'll set everything to 1. Make sure I don't strip it out, and if the screw doesn't turn, then I'll just turn it up one at a time until it does.
You also get these rubber isolators.
Go ahead and take your bamboo cutting board out to save a few pounds, because lifting this up and trying to screw it in at the same time can be a little awkward, and lighter's better. First, you want to remove the tailgate panel, coming down to this lower left side, right where the wiring goes in. You can get your finger in there. Should be able to. Just start on this end. Just give it a little tug there. And if it leaves any of these clips in there, I'll show you how to get those out. Next, you want to install the green blind nuts. You're going to snap them in right here, 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 down here, and these next 3. Nothing goes in that one. Save that extra blind nut in case you need it later. Now you need to start installing the supplied foam that comes with the Trailgater. What you'll do is peel back the white paper. It's one-sided adhesive. It's not sticky on both. So what you'll do is pull back the backing. Just kind of hold the roll in your hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to run it back a little bit, and I'm pulling the paper away as I go. Now here, I opted, because I'm reinstalling this and I don't have the foam, so I went to the store and I saw that they had this rubber 7/32 window weather stripping, which it's held up better. The foam kind of wiggled around over time. I don't know how, but it did. Kind of squirmed and deformed and everything, and this stayed in place a lot better. Here's the routing. I want to point out over here, there's a little dog leg here. The wiring will come through this path around this rounded edge right here. You got a little partial square there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know. Now the next step is we're going to take the screws and just run them in a little bit, about 3 or 4 turns, so we can start the screws easier when we're lifting this thing up. Now, I would normally say don't go against the instructions, but I've installed this Trailgater table a couple of times now using this old weak Black & Decker household drill with adjustable torque settings from 1 to 10. Usually takes 1 or even 2 just to get the screw to turn, and I've run the screws all the way up until they make contact with the backsplash and never had an issue with stripping out the blind nut, which is why they tell you don't use a power drill. But I think this one's an exception. After that is when you could use the screwdriver to go around and finish tightening everything up. Last one. All right, so go ahead and unlock your table, open it up like this. I would suggest go ahead and putting your first screw in there. And back to that weather seal, I wanted to make the point that the reason why it's there is to cut down on rattles and keep dust and dirt from getting on that mating surface right there. After a while, it would just eat the paint away. All right, using my knee, getting creative here. All right, got my drill up here, set on 1, and we're just going to draw it in there until the screw is about a 1/4 inch out, making sure that the backsplash is all the way up against the tailgate. Something like that. I'm going to keep my knee there. We don't want all that weight on 1 screw. All right, got it set on 2 instead of 1 now. Make sure it's not dropping. I just had to lift it up a little bit. This is why we went through with the screws. I just let my knee down. It's fine. And got them started a few turns to make it easier right now. That's that up a little. All right, so now I can start on the bottom. And real quick, I want to point out that there's the top of the wiring sheath right here. Just make sure that you can see that green blind nut back there, because you don't want to accidentally run this screw up into the sheath. Now grab your stainless bolts and slip your plastic washer on. I'm also adding a stainless washer on top of that. The larger M8 bolt will go up top, and the smaller M6 bolt will go here at the bottom. But first, Aluminum anti-seize. Just need a small amount. Just need a light coating. Now the M6 bolt. And go ahead and start them by hand, of course. There we go. Just needed a little lift because everything's still loose right now. Now that you've got all the fasteners started, be mindful not to pinch the wiring harness over here, making sure it's in this location before we start cinching things down. Now we're going to make sure the backsplash is all the way up on the fasteners. That way everything's square when we start cinching all the fasteners down. Last time I had a setting of 2 and it would not even get near flush, so we're going to try 3. Now you want to come over to the bolts. Use your Phillips to hand tighten it if you're following the original instructions. And you might go around 3 or 4 times. And as you tighten, you may find something loosens up and you just need to go back, snug it up a little bit. Just use your best judgment and whatever you feel comfortable with. And as far as my technique, I'm going to be torquing these down first with the torque wrench and see if anything moves later. Come back and check these a couple more times. Okay, so now to the bolts and torquing them with an inch-pound torque wrench. ChatGPT says going into the magnesium inner frame of the tailgate here with a 40 millimeter long M6 1.0 bolt with aluminum anti-seize on it, it gives a spec of 22 inch-pounds. Nice smooth movements. All right, and that already broke away. Now onto the M8 bolt. Right there. All right, nothing felt weird. All right, here's the setup I'm using. I want to feel it by hand. We're at 22. Yeah, just enough to move it. That feels good. I'm sticking with the setting of 3 on the drill here. Same as last time. We're just trying to see if anything moves more. Not really. A little bit there. Still at 50 from the last time. All right, moved a little bit. Let's see if this one moves. Nice smooth movement. Yeah, I'd say about 1/8 of a turn there. Now, that's the point that I don't want to go anymore. I think it's going to be good enough. And then you just kind of want to come around here, make sure everything feels tight. See that aluminum backsplash is moving a little bit. I should be able to tighten that screw more. That's very obvious. Same for there. You hear it rubbing on the fastener. So these are not fully tightened yet. I'm on 3 now. Let's go up one at a time. On a setting of 4, I'm going to start from over here. And by the way, here's specs on the supplied bolts, just in case you lose one of those. It seems they're hard to come by online. Now install your rubber isolators on each side. Now slide your cutting board back in. Stopping right there so you can push it up in between the tabs on either side. And make sure that the taper on your pin, I'll show you right here, is facing the taper on the table side. And just push it in until the pin snaps into place. Looks great. I'm happy to have it back in, and I'm really looking forward to getting the Jeep back on the road. Right now, I'm making decisions and probably going to go down a slightly different path on the head gasket swap, so stay tuned there. And since the cam failure 3,000 miles ago, knowing debris made it to the oil pan, even though there's a pickup screen, I'm going to be doing an oil pump swap video, partnering with our new sponsor, because I'm curious to see inside the old one. It's not much more work. Knowing the oil supply is important with this engine, and hoping to get another 100 plus thousand miles out of it seems worth it for the money. I think it's going to run anywhere between 100, 150. But back to the table. I'm very happy with it. It does everything I need it to, and at this point, I can't imagine not having it. It'll be there for years and ready when you are. Thanks for the support, guys. Hit that like button, ask any questions below, and I'll see you on the next one.